Can one car glide like a yacht on broken city streets, sprint like a sports coupe, and still leave you wishing the rear window were bigger? Could that same car charge from 20 to 80% in the time it takes to unwrap a candy bar, and yet be sunk by a dead key fob battery? These are the real questions owners of the Zeekr 7X are answering right now, and the next few minutes unpack every single one. Owners who chose the optional air suspension say bumps almost vanish in comfort mode. One driver called the ride cushiony like a sofa on wheels. Flip to sport and the spring stiffens so sharply that the same road feels brand new. Great for cornering, less great for potholes. Drivers on the standard coils feel more little jolts day to day, but none call it painful. So far, no one has logged a suspension failure. Yet every early adopter keeps a cautious eye on those fancy airbags. Please subscribe to my channel if like real automotive contents. Inside, the cabin feels huge. Reviewers compare it to steering a yacht, with soft materials wherever your hand lands and hidden hard plastics only in deep cubbies. Most drivers love the steering column gear selector after a 180 learning curve, though a few still reach for a traditional shifter by mistake. Seats earn near-universal praise, especially now that European builds include the pop-out thigh extensions some salespeople originally denied. Now, the first big surprise: the brochure claims over 600 liters of trunk space, but one owner's tape measure shows about 100 by 79 centimeters, closer to 400 liters once you account for the dividers. If cargo is your deal breaker, keep watching. In 30 seconds, we'll talk roof rails and towing numbers that might save the day. Visibility sparks debate. The front view is widescreen clear, yet the rear window is so small that many owners map a steering wheel shortcut to fire up the camera feed instantly. Zeekr lets you leave that view on the center screen, but it times out after a few seconds unless you poke it. Noise control sits above average but not class-leading. Early cars wore Michelin tires that hummed on coarse asphalt. Zeekr switched to Continentals, and drivers report a calmer cabin. Wind hush stays solid until about 130 kilometers per hour when the mirrors start to sing. At that speed, Bluetooth audio sometimes lags by half a beat, annoying if you tap along to music. Speaking of speed, on a 306 Stickle 8 charger, owners filmed a 20 to 80% jump in roughly 10 minutes. That is popcorn short. On 400-volt stations, you'll peak near 150 kilowatts. Still quick, but only if you remember to heat the battery. Because Zeekr's native NAV won't auto-precondition, yet most drivers run CarPlay and start warming the pack manually 10 minutes before arrival, 20 in winter. Keep that in your pocket. It's the difference between coffee stretch fast and lunch break slow. Powertrain choice splits by lifestyle. City drivers swear the twelve-wheel drive model is enough zoom and love the lighter, safer LFP battery. Highway warriors pick all-wheel drive for sure-footed punch, but lose about 8 to 10% range. Cool extra. You can set AWD cars to rear drive only while cruising. Early testers think this nudges efficiency up and noise down, but no one has published hard numbers yet. Now the downsides that can sting. First, the key fob. If its coin cell dies, there is no backup card like on the Zeekr 001. The only fix is to jumpstart the port hidden behind the bumper, a pain if you're stuck in a tight garage. Pack a spare battery in the glove box. Second, those jewel-like headlights look gorgeous but cost a small fortune to replace, so nearly every owner wraps them in protective film on day one. Third, export trims lose the roof-mounted LiDAR unit that many Chinese cars flaunt. Some shoppers celebrate the cleaner look, others worry it limits future self-drive upgrades. Which side are you on? Type Team Clean or Team Tech below. Software quirks continue with navigation that mispronounces street names and a phony ASCII option that drops connection for a few owners. Blind spot video, though, earns applause. A live camera pops into the head-up display when you flick the indicator, and another view shows each wheel when you edge near a curb, lifesaver for those large 29-inch rims. Drivers hauling caravans or roof boxes will care about two figures. Tow rating on all-wheel drive models meets the needs of most mid-sized trailers, while roof rail mounting points can carry a box for road trip overflow. electric side doors, offered in some markets, sound fancy but add weight, and one more motor that could break, so Kiwi and Aussie shoppers hope they stay optional. How about build quality and safety? The Zeekr 7X shares a platform with Volvo, Polestar, and Lotus. Owners note the car feels heavy, thanks to thick aluminum castings, but they see the upside when a minor crash video shows an X5 dent while the Zeekr barely flinches. Euro NCAP tests on sibling models hit 5 stars, so buyers expect similar scores once the 7X faces the barrier. Price talk next, and it's spicy. In Europe, the 7X lands about €10,000 above an Xpeng G6. Fans say the Zeekr feels a class higher inside and offers a bigger battery. Skeptics think the G6's leaner tech still wins on value. Forum debates get heated, yet most agree competition is great for wallets. Finally, owner mood after months on the road, overall positive. Many call the 7X the most comfortable EV they've driven. One shopper did pivot to an Audi e-tron for long-term resale confidence, but several others canceled Polestar or Tesla orders after a Zeekr test drive. Green paint draws the most street compliments, yet white remains the resale-safe pick. If you already drive a 7X, drop your paint color and why you chose it down below. You'll help the next viewer decide. So should you buy? If your daily route is 10 to 15 city kilometers and you crave a quiet, cushy ride, the Twow heel drive plus optional air suspension is the sweet spot. If you tow, ski, or just love instant torque, grab the AWD, budget for a slight range dip, and maybe add quieter tires. Either way, spend a tiny bit on headlight film, toss a spare CR 2032 into the center console, and remember to tap that preheat button before fast charging.